progress over the last couple of days. That'll be a day-to-day thing as we move forward into this week. So anything more than that right now would be premature. And then with Nate, you'd mentioned, yeah, Nate is currently in the concussion protocol.
Was Tyrod reasonably close to being able to play this past Sunday?
I'm not a doctor, Sal, so there was a chance that he was going to play. That's why we listed him the way we did. So at the end of the day, he wasn't able to. So. A little bit of both, mostly how he was feeling. Certainly the field conditions were a part of that equation as well, but mostly how he was feeling. It does, and I'll just take the time to mention, I thought Nate played a solid game. He was, for a young player, into the game, had good control and command of the huddle and the situations. I thought he did some good things that were baked into our win. Some of those seen, some somewhat unseen, but I thought he played a solid game overall. But yes, when healthy, Tyrod will be our starter. Right? No, he was a third quarterback yesterday, correct? And then he'd be the guy that would take snaps, right?
What happened yesterday?
I'll start off just overall our building and our fans. I'll start there if I could. The game ball really needs to go to everyone, all the staff that was involved in getting that building ready to play. So let's start there, and then to keep that thing playable through that snowstorm yesterday. Can't say enough about the hard work that went into that and the teamwork. And then the fans, like I mentioned after the game yesterday, and I know Kyle made a mention of it too, to stick around. Sal, I think it was you that asked me the question. I couldn't even see the fans on the other side of the lower bowl until about the second quarter. I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. And then the second quarter, when things slowed down for a window of time, just that type of environment was a great environment to be a part of. And then, to your question, the players and the staff and the way that they've stuck together, the resiliency, the character, like I mentioned earlier, it says a lot about the direction we're going. Well, look, those are hard situations. Those are challenging situations, but decisions that I have to make as the head coach. And yesterday, look, it worked yesterday, right, to our benefit. When you look at those type of equations, there's a lot of different variables that go into making those decisions. It's never just one thing or another. So field position, felt like when you look at how the game was trending with both offenses trying to come out from the shadows of their own goalposts at times leading up to that point in the game. You look at where we were on the field and how overtime works with points and deciding a game. A lot of things that went into that decision. In this case, it worked out, and I would do it again. But understand this, that every situation is different. Every situation, no two situations are exactly the same. So I felt confident that we could get the ball back with 4 minutes and change to go. We talked about it. I wanted to make sure we used the timeout to talk about it because I knew it was at a pivotal point in the game. Those were good discussions. And then today we come back, even though it worked out, we continue to learn and focus on the process of growing from it, even though it worked out this time, so that if you say, hey, what if this variable was different? Would we do something differently? Would I do something differently? So those are all good, valuable lessons for us, and we'll continue to move forward with that and grow. And that was a great, I thought, situational game yesterday when you look at when we took the field, what the conditions were, and then when we ended the game, what the conditions were. And I go back to our preparation as a staff and the way the players prepared during the week. We were in some of those situations during the week, and we had a plan going into the game of how we wanted to play the game, and we did a good job of handling those situations. Well, when you look at it, you're saying there's three possible results: a tie, a loss, or a win, and so I've been in those situations before where you want to win the game, and once in Philadelphia, once in Carolina, we ended up with a tie. That tie ended up helping us later on down the road with the season in terms of where we were trying to get to. So you'd rather it be a win, and certainly those ties happen at once in a while in overtime games. Those are all part of the variables that I take into consideration. That's all the the computation that's going on in my mind, whether it's this situation or another situation, that you try and go from big picture to very minute details as quickly as you can in a span of, 15 seconds. So, well, you're going to, at that point, we knew time was running out, basically, to try and go win the game. So we felt like we had to go on the attack to try and go win the game. No. I mean, we're focused on moving forward in the Miami Dolphins. We've got a good Miami Dolphins team coming in here. That's beaten this team twice the last year, or last season. So we'll have our work cut out for us, and that's what we moved forward onto, and improving what we do as well. When you're within that game, right, you do. He asked me afterwards, have I looked since that? I haven't looked since then. Yeah, just wanted to take our time and think about it, talk about it as a staff, and make sure that it was the right thing that we felt good about, that I felt good about. Those are, like I said, that was a pivotal point in the game, so I wasn't about to rush a decision because I knew how important that decision would be.